Racism is the unfounded belief that one race is superior or inferior to another and that biological characteristics can predetermine the social or moral traits of a person. Racism is a hot-button issue in America and has seen a resurgence in discussions following several cases of racial killings and hate crimes in the country. Unfortunately, measuring it is not as easy as measuring other demographics like population. Traditional methods like surveys and polls are often ineffective, leading scientists to come up with better ways of determining the most racist areas in America. It's important to remember that not everyone in these towns are racist, and in fact, there are movers and shakers across the nation fighting for racial justice. Compiling this list is difficult, because of course big cities will have higher instances of hate crimes, but that could also be explained by its greater welcoming of diversity. Therefore, this list will be a compilation of anecdotal evidence, statistical information, and how a town's history with race impacts it today. If your town is on this list, maybe it's time for you to be the change that is needed. After all, when we know better, we do better. Stay tuned to the end for some unexpected trivia about the names of places that you probably never thought about. Without further ado, here are America's 12 most racist towns. Number 1, Harrison, Arkansas. Harrison, Arkansas. Harrison sits in Boone County in northern Arkansas, just on the border of Missouri. The town has been dubbed the most racist town in America, and that legacy goes deep, both historically and contemporarily. A viral video made by Bob Bliss did little favors for the town. He made a video called, "Holding a Black Lives Matter Sign in America's Most Racist Town." What followed was 3 days of abuse, racial slurs, ironic since Bliss is white, and even direct death threats. While many residents have been challenging this reputation, it's an uphill battle when your town serves as the headquarters and mailing address for the Ku Klux Klan. The town's history is no better. Arkansas, a former slave state, gained notoriety with the Harrison race riots of 1905 and 1909, where the town violently removed all but one black man, creating an all-white community. The town has been working to rid itself of its legacy, and since 2003 has had a community task force on race relations to combat racism. The task force has been successful in removing offensive billboards, and a petition to remove one particular billboard received over 8,000 signatures. Hopefully, Harrison is on the road to equality. Number 2, Elmira, New York. Only 5.9% of the 88,000 residents of Elmira are black. Still, social and economic disparities between black and white residents are glaring. The typical black household in Elmira has an annual income of $21,767, which is less than half of the $51,101 annual income of a typical white household. Also, only 22.4% of black families own their homes compared to 71.7% of white families. Number 3, West Allis, Wisconsin. In West Allis, local authorities are continually investigating cases of racial targeting against black residents. Recently, a family in the area filed a police report claiming that people had slashed their car tires, smashed their windows, and left letters riddled with racial slurs and asking them to leave. Number 4, St. Paul, Minnesota. The St. Paul metro area in Minneapolis enacted exclusionary zoning policies and restrictive housing covenants in the 20th century that still affect residential patterns today. Census studies have shown that the area remains highly segregated by race and has some of the widest homeownership, income, and poverty divides between black and white residents of any metro area in the country. Number 5, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Waukesha is home to several white supremacist groups that often disseminate racist propaganda through online platforms and public posters. On November 21, 2021, Darrell E. Brooks Jr., a black resident of Waukesha, allegedly drove an SUV into a Christmas parade, injuring over 60 people and killing 6. Although Waukesha Police Chief Daniel Thompson confirmed that the incident was not a terrorist event and the suspect was fleeing a domestic disturbance, white supremacist groups were quick to exploit the event. Banners with racial slurs targeting black and Jewish residents were posted across the town, although quickly removed by authorities. Number 6, Springfield, Illinois. Black residents in Illinois are 9 times more likely to be incarcerated than white residents. While the median annual income for black households is $27,197, the figure for white households, $61,976, is more than double. Additionally, the unemployment rate among white workers in Springfield is 5.8%, while the black unemployment rate is 18.8%, a likely effect of the high incarceration rates. Number 7, Decatur, Illinois. In Decatur, educational disparities persist as 77.6% of black adults hold a high school diploma, contrasting with 91.8% of their white counterparts. This educational divide fuels substantial gaps in income and employment prospects within the community. Alarmingly, the unemployment rate among black residents stands at a staggering 21.7%, signifying a dire economic situation, while their white counterparts experience a significantly lower rate of 7.4%. Addressing these disparities is essential for fostering a more equitable and inclusive Decatur, where all residents have equal access to opportunities and the chance to thrive, regardless of their racial background. Number 8, Niles-Benton Harbor, MI. Niles-Benton Harbor is ranked as one of the most segregated areas in the U.S. About half of the black residents in the area reside in predominantly black neighborhoods, and 42% live below the poverty line. This black poverty rate is higher than that of all but 11 other metro areas. Number 9, Kankakee, Illinois. More than 4 in every 10 black Kankakee residents live below the poverty line compared to 1 in every 10 white residents. Additionally, inequitable distribution of resources and the concentration of minorities in poor neighborhoods has led to underfunded predominantly schools that highly disadvantage their students. Less than 80% of black adults have high school diplomas, while more than 90% of white adults have diplomas. Number 10, Chicago, Illinois. Chicago has a long history of discriminatory lending and exclusionary redlining and zoning practices. Although these practices were predominant in the 20th century, they caused a segregation effect that persists today. The metro area has some of the largest racial disparities in health, education, and income. The average black annual household income in the country is 60.1% of the income of the average white household. In Chicago, this rate is 47.3%. Number 11, Rochester, New York. The Civil Rights Project of the University of California, LA, recently released a report showing the de facto persistence of segregation in schools in Rochester. Between 1990 and 2010, the enrollment rate for white students in inner-city public schools fell to 15% from 34%. Segregation in schools has been linked to social and economic inequality. The attainment gap for high school diplomas in Rochester is 14.3%, almost double the national figure. Number 12, Waterloo Cedar Falls, IA. An index of metro areas ranks the Waterloo and Cedar Falls metro areas as having the highest racial disparity. The white unemployment rate in the area is 4.4%, while the unemployment rate for black residents is 23.9%. Similarly, although 73.2% of households in the area own their homes, the black homeownership rate is 32.8%. Public schools also show high achievement gaps, with minority students falling behind their counterparts. According to National Assessment of Education Progress exams, 80% of white fourth-grade students are proficient in reading compared to 49% of black students. Racism is not as easy to measure as something like area or population. Consequently, it is difficult to identify the most racist towns in America. Nonetheless, some scientists have attempted a new way of studying racism. This is through Google searches. They determine how they impact health status, employment rates, incarceration rates, immortality rates, and more. It is important to note that this is not an official ranking of the most racist areas in the country. However, it is an idea of places where racism may occur. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that like button down below. It really helps us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest videos. Just click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop. We have a lot of exciting content planned, and we can't wait to share it with you. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, Please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. We love hearing from our amazing viewers like you. Thanks again for being a part of our community and for your ongoing support. We can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned, stay awesome, and keep chasing your dreams.